celebrate, we'll celebrate. It's a bit already, we'll celebrate. It's a holiday, your movement, we'll celebrate. You be brothers in your way, we'll celebrate. Nothing you can tell us now, we'll celebrate. Nothing you get to tell us now, we'll celebrate. We are inside the breeze, our shame, how much you are inside the breeze. Nothing worry.
Brothers International, y'all.
Feeling in a race. We feeling we a race. Everybody go party. Feeling we a race.
Y'all move on the road because we coming in with full. Casabella, tell her wapi. We coming make y'all defeat it. Big politicians, we putting y'all on the ground. See, me take it. We party, y'all can see it. John Money, we are. Hey, Joe, how I tell her. Hey, Crook Brothers, huh? We don't want to call the giant. Y'all I know we the liar. We all lying straight for Zion. We'll save the people there. For the hands of the wicked one. Taki and Fua, so they start to get their way. But we are powerful. That's what people are supposed to powerful. And then Joe are powerful. I'm thinking like that's supposed to powerful. They call our heavy weight. That we the champion team. This what we remain. International, we do be. Sing with me, say, Atale, le, 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 oh. See, oh, le, 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 oh. Atale, le, 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 oh. See, oh, le, 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 oh. Power to the people. Revolt the men into evil. They say the people walk. I don't put them in the spot. They get a big deal. No, see, rapping, get rap the king. Walk where they get away. And it's about the in your space. It's like I don't go with plugging. CDC, now take it. CDC, we the champion team. Oh, brother.
You just so happy. You're in trouble. Come on, y'all move on the road.
You're in big trouble.
We're not taking the trip for Joe. We're body up to the chicken go. AFC say a winning team, but we want a winning team. Now we the champion team, so for the win again. AFC say a town giant or win a lion from Zion. Now we the whole country giant, we eat again and we eating Kayan. So if you're back, you people, you're back. AFC will not summon, sir. If you're in one road, I keep with poor in your mouth. Pulling back the challenge while every one of y'all making paka. You guys see we take over, so you're coming in with far. But then you're for making fault, I will offer and making love. I don't got a party, they're going straight down to the dog. See, we standing tall, observing and watching y'all. Y'all think I'm thinking team, so we teaching the winning team. That's how we do it well, so we teaching the referee. That's how we do it well, so we teaching the referee. Y'all want to roll deep, Papa coming again. Y'all want to roll Papa Georgie coming again. Y'all want to roll Mama Joe coming again. Who want to roll City Check coming again.
Alright, let's begin this thing. If you are a physician, let's begin this thing. Let's begin this thing. If you are a seditious, you are under obligation as part of your contribution to immediately go down to the left-hand side of your screen and hit the share button. So I'm going to be the first to do that on my Facebook page. I am going to go look for me. As you can see me right there right now, I'm live with 121 persons watching. So they say see video insight. I'm not going to see video insight. See, that's what I'm going to do right here. I'm going to go to share, bam. And it's going to say share now. I could share with the public. I could write a post. I could send in a message. But guess what? I'm going to share with everybody. Okay? I could write a post, but you know, it's me. So I'm posting it right now. You shared this post. Yes, I did. Because I support the sedition. You got a problem with it? Because I know we are about to fight. That's what I did. I went to my screen, to the bottom. I hit share. I could even put a post, okay, stating that we're ready for passive-aggressive resistance. Passive-aggressive resistance. If you take away the word aggressive, this concept was introduced by two important figures in contemporary modern political philosophy, as we call it. Mahatma Gandhi of India and the Dr. Martin Luther King of the United States did with passive resistance. With the Coalition for Democratic Change, we are going to go with passive-aggressive resistance. You got a problem with it? Passive-aggressive resistance. How are you going to have something passive and at the same time be aggressive? Yes, you can be aggressive in your passiveness. I will stand like this If Mahatma Gandhi at some point will walk away because they beat him so bad, Martin Luther King will take a break. So they carry out what we call passive resistance. But for us, passive is another word for being non-aggressive. But in our passiveness, meaning we are for peace, we don't want any trouble. We will not battle anybody. We're not getting in the street. No. We're not stealing nobody's car or trying to kill anybody. But in our passiveness, we will be aggressive with the resistance. We want our country back. And we will resist every attempt. But a handful or a few fingerful of pseudo-political technocrats that hide under the hides of political knowledge to continue to perpetuate their crimes and carry out the tirades against our people, we will give them passive, aggressive resistance. The bells of war are all over. Today, I want to bring your attention. Many persons ask me, did you take the time to watch Bromsky's nonsense? I said no. Why didn't you listen to him? I don't listen to dull people. I listen to everybody. But I don't listen to dull people. The fact that you refuse to learn is quite different from if you're trying to learn, then we can listen to you. Because you're trying. And if you make mistakes, we'll correct you. Or if you don't know it, we'll teach you. Or if you messed up, we all will sit down and learn it together. But if you're just too dull to understand, which one is my concern? I'll go there and teach you. I'll do it again and again and again. But in your dullness, if you refuse to learn, I'm not going to spend my precious time trying to teach you. So here's where we are today. We are with the National Elections Commission. We are with the Supreme Court. And I am with the coalition in its strategy of passive-aggressive resistance. Many of you will say, why is it when the Supreme Court announced the ruling today, Fangon, we didn't see seditionists who they say are rude, they are militants, they want to get in the street, they want to spoil everything, they want to kill people. Why did we not see them like that today? It's because they are giving you the strategy of passive-aggressive resistance. You don't understand it. It's PAR. Go and look up PAR. Par excellence. They are on par. We are on par with them, but they don't know. They just think we are on par. We're like parallel with them. But for us, par means passive, aggressive resistance. We're not disturbing anything. We're not fighting. We are not messing up, killing each other, throwing stones, damaging places. No, we're not doing that. That's not the way we operate. We're not doing that. Here is where I want to begin from today. I want to begin with you from where I started last Friday, when the Supreme Court postponed its ruling till Monday. Eugene Fangon came up with a podcast. And I told you, or perhaps you didn't believe me, I said it was all by design. It was also because Bromsky, according to the then Information Deputy Minister, Jackson, is a spineless puppet. How did he say it? It's what Jackson said. And I can play that tape for you. Bromsky is a spineless puppet. For me, I have used two descriptive words on Bromsky. I believe that Bromsky is a pathological liar. And most importantly, Bromsky is just too dark. And I give constitutional references where Bromsky blundered not once, twice, multiple times. It was not intentional. It was just because he is dumb. Very dumb. Right now, Jackson's assertion of Bromsky as a spineless puppet has come to fruition. Why? Because Bromsky is now the puppet on the string, being used by the political cartel to somehow disenfranchise the Liberian people. Woo! Brace yourself, I got more coming up. Let me get a water. I have said consistently that you guys are under obligation to share the video. It's part of your contribution if you are a sedition. If you're not, no, you're not forced to. But as long as you support the coalition, you are under obligation today as your job to share the video, because we are about to fire. We have not started. All right. What do we have? Last week, Friday, I told people, listen and listen carefully. We are all Liberians. Who in Liberia does not know that the first Thursday in November is Thanksgiving Day? You may forget, but it doesn't mean you don't know. You know. The last Thursday in the United States is Thanksgiving Day. Everybody putting food together now for that Thanksgiving in America. You may forget, but you cannot say you don't know. No, you can't. You know. So, Bromsky was supposed to go to NAC if he had a complaint. From the police station in Grand Gita, Bromsky was told by an election magistrate that this was know your candidate ballot paper. It was for educational purposes. They had to fly an ECOWAS chapel, or whatever they call it, unmailed chapel. Bromsky did not go through the proper procedure. There was no such in the minds of the learned lawyer that he has been known to be by his peers. Because for me, he's a dull man, not an attorney. I would not even hire him for tomorrow. He's dull. According to the Supreme Court, there are 62 cases on the docket at NEC. Remember the Code of Conduct? Bromsky refused to go to NEC, went straight to the Supreme Court. Abu Kamara was told that he was in flagrant violation of the Code of Conduct. The same applied to Kanwe. The Supreme Court said he was in what? He was in substantial, I'm quoting the Supreme Court. Supreme Court said that Abu Kamara was in flagrant violation. Watch my finger. That means I'm quoting him. Of the Code of Conduct. Then when it came to Kanwe, who Bromsky took just few days, the Supreme Court said Kanwe was in what? Substantial compliance. The strategy of passive, aggressive resistance was applied. You know why? Because we knew we were going to flog the hell out of them. That strategy worked. We let it go. Bromsky, without going to NEC, went straight to the Supreme Court and met this individual by the name of Kabila Janet as an associate justice. Friends, fellow citizens, my dearest compatriots, we must not always agree. Then we will not have a democracy. We will have an authoritarian rule. We will have a tyrannical rule. We will have a dictatorship. We will not even have a democracy. We cannot always agree. But we must agree on one thing. That common sense at times defies conventional wisdom, let alone education. Bromsky goes and meets the justice in chamber, takes his case to the Supreme Court. Kabina Jana had every reason to say, Bromsky, did you follow the procedure leading up to a case against NEC and coming forward here? If Bromsky had said no, Janet was under obligation to tell Bromsky, go back. Go and follow the procedure so that it can be legally expedient for me to act. In a plot by the cartel, Kabina Jana said, literally he said, this thing is not for me. It's too big for me. So they set the case for Thursday. Recognizing that Thursday was Thanksgiving Day, when the Liberian people waited for a case on Thursday, they were told that the hearing will be on Friday by the full bench, and that the ruling would be at 2 o'clock. I love the cartel this time. We may not always agree, but they are on the game. Just because you're playing hard and fast doesn't mean you're going to win. No. When the final whistle is blown, we look at the scores and we will tell you who won. But on Friday, as Liberians patiently waited, the hearing was conducted. It was the same Friday that I had my podcast and asked you all, why did Jana not send the case back? Why did the Supreme Court opt to hear the case on Friday? Why did the Supreme Court assign the case for Thanksgiving Day in the first place? And I asked the question, if the Supreme Court hears the case, will there be any reason why they should send it back? Owing to the fact that the NEC is a litigant to the case, I took a case against you. You who are watching me right now, who went to the judge. Instead of the judge saying, go back to Eugene, let him hear the case. If he does not, then come back to us. Or if you're not satisfied with the decision, come back to us. Instead, the judge said, go and call Eugene, let me investigate the both for you. We go, the judge listen to both of us cases. We provide our various evidences. And we make our legal arguments before the judge. I hear you, you hear me. Everything you had to present, you presented it. Everything I had to present, I presented it. Then the judge look at us and say, the judges in this case, I'm sorry, it was no longer Kabina Jana, the one-man associate justice. No. The judges in this case say, you know what? We will not rule on the merits and demerits of the case, but we will give you a ruling on Monday. The strategy of passive-aggressive resistance. The CDC and all of us Liberians remained peaceful. We sat down and we did not bother anybody. That is when your blood pressure goes up. Mine went up. I was upset. I was angry. I wish I could do something. But the strategy of passive-aggressive resistance held me down. Here were some of the questions that made me angry. if you are not going to rule on the merits and the demerits of the case, why the hell are you hearing it? Just to hear it for hearing's sake? If you knew that you had no ruling, you, the Supreme Court, the final arbiter of justice, final, you the last place we're supposed to go. If you are not able to take a decision in the case, my people, why then hear it? Why? It's because the cartel, the political cartel, the political cartel, the political cartel. Why hear it? Then you're telling us, here is what pissed me off. The Supreme Court said, we will not rule on the merits and demerits of the case. I asked the question, what the hell will you be ruling on then? But guess what the Supreme Court next sentence was? We will rule on Monday. If you're not ruling on the merits and the demerits, why are you even ruling on Monday? Instead of getting a simple instruction, instead of dismissing the case, throwing it out, or ordering Bromsky in front of the neck to do the right thing. Why? The political cartel. They said they will rule on Monday. Monday, as Liberians patiently waited, Monday came. And exactly what we anticipated from the get-go, that the cartel, having been flogged by almost 10 percentage points, and with Prince Johnson joining the masses, Magdala Copper on the side of the masses, McDonald Wento on the side of the masses, Mills Jones on the side of the masses, Blanner on the side of the masses, so many people on the side of the masses. The cartel wanted to buy time. So they started buying time from the get-go. And they will have more time. But in as much as they will have so much time on their hands, so are we prepared with our strategy of passive, aggressive resistance. It has worked, it is still working, and it will work. Because you will play around, play around, play around, play around. We will stand our ground. Our country must be returned to us. We will not fire a single bullet, not destroy a single car, or burn tires on the road. Even if it takes 20 years, you will return power to the people. Because we are prepared for passive, aggressive resistance, which was shown at the ballot boxes on October 10. Make no mistake. There are market women that took their voting card and put it in their bra and then tie lapa over it. They are waiting for the political cartel. They said the political cartel should go, and they mean what they said. But let's make progress. So now, the Supreme Court decides to use the Liberian people as a scapegoat by saying, next should expeditiously finish off all the cases on the docket before a runoff. Technically, they are acknowledging that there would be a runoff. So why do you want a runoff if you are awaiting the outcome of the 62 cases plus the one Darling Boy case that you just sent back, totaling 63? Why do you now want them to complete before a runoff instead of a rerun. The cartel. The cartel. The political cartel. I posted something today. I said we will see that inauguration will occur on January 15th. Everybody, what is he saying? What was I saying? I was saying something simple. The Supreme Court, being the final arbiter of justice, does not in any way means that the Supreme Court has the ultimate power. Therefore, unlike some of my colleagues who talk, I don't talk without evidence. You see this book? Look how it looks. Pitiful. Sorrowful, if you want. I sometimes feel bad. But it looks like this because I sleep with it sometimes. When things like this happen, I grab this book and I start reading. Then I forget I sleep. And so look at the way I treat it sometimes. But Article 1. Article 1. If you look right there, I put my finger there for you to see. Article 1. It says, the first sentence, all power. They didn't say some. All power is inherent in the people, period. They say Liberian people can talk too much, but sometimes Liberian people can just tell you something quick and they finish. The period is right there. They don't want any grosso, council, no. All power is inherent in the people, period. If you know where I'm headed with this, that's what our law says. So if you lost one county, when 14 counties get ready to install their president, you can go there and say blah, blah, blah. Then we will know where the power lies. If it's in the people, we will know. Simple as that. Let's go to another thing as we make our case. Under the same strategy of passive-aggressive resistance. Folks, let me say this to you. If you go to the Election Commission website, I'm about to lecture the Supreme Court. Go to what it says, where it says, go to first of all, www.necliberia.org. necliberia.org. O-R-G. Click on the link that says, the tab that says, about NEC. About NEC. Some of my colleagues on the other side of the aisle believe that if they talk all day and talk nonsense without showing evidence or proof that they can do stuff. No wonder why when I come on, I'm almost like 450, 20,000. It's because I don't just come to talk. I come with proof. I give you references. You go, you check it. It is what it is. So let's look at this whole thing with NEC. Let's see that this case that the Supreme Court told Bromsky, take your dull self back to where you should have started. Then turn around and order the NEC. One of my friends jokingly said to me, Eugene, there's 62 cases on the docket at NEC. Did those people tell of the Supreme Court that they wanted the case judiciously expedited? I said no. I said, well, why you let Speaky BD Book all the time? Why you let BD Book? He said, okay, I will just bring it down for you. So, sorry. Don't people carry a complaint to the Supreme Court? I said no. Which one be the Supreme Court concerned with them? I don't know. Send Bromsky back. So Bromsky now holds a press conference today. I told you all I didn't listen. So if Bromsky get vexed with me, say Eugene say he don't care. But just from social media on Facebook, he wants all the commissioners to recuse themselves. When I tell you all that Bromsky is a very dull man and a pathological liar, in my opinion, you guys take me for granted. The strength and energy that you had to go to the Supreme Court, you have already sided with the ANC, the ALP, and the Unity Party on a vote of no confidence in the National Elections Commission. True or false? He is dull. So then, you went to the Supreme Court. You call yourself a lawyer. You did not pray the court to see the NEC as a litigant or party to the litigation. And therefore pray the Honorable Supreme Court to grant you relief from the commissioners that had presented arguments and counter-arguments and evidence about whom you had carried the case. No, you didn't. You say you got no confidence in the people. The Supreme Court sent you back there. You said nothing in front of the Supreme Court. Absolutely nothing. Then you come walking outside again as dull and come to the Liberian people and tell we the people that you have agreed that you are telling us now the commissioners should recuse themselves. Don't worry, I'm coming back to about NEC, to the NEC website. Let me ask you watching this podcast right now with me, because you're watching it, I'm watching it myself. Why did Bromsky come out tonight to tell us that the commissioners should recuse themselves? Which one we got to play there? Or we don't want to tell the commissioners to recuse themselves? Who has the order or the mandate, the authority, the power to tell the commissioners to recuse themselves? But you're telling them, you the party, you must recuse yourself or else what? Or else what? Liberians, passive, aggressive, resistance. So let's go now to the NEC website. Power and duties. Somebody did not hear me. Power and duties. They are talking about the NEC. What power do they have? What are their duties? Let me drink small water. What powers do they have? And what are their duties? My folks, there are so many of them, you hear me? So many. But for the sake of this podcast, and the sake of passive, aggressive resistance, which is a strategy of the Coalition for Democratic Change, let me help you all understand. I'm going to deal with number 4, number 18, number 21, and number 24 under the powers and duties of the Election Commission. And from there, I will advise the Election Commission, I will advise coalitionists like myself, the CDC, on the way forward, and then I will advise my dull friend, Bromsky, and try to make him a puppeteer rather than a puppet. Number 4. Number 4 reads, first of all, let me just give you the oversight from the website itself. I'm not a good reader, but I'm going to try. And if you're not a good reader, and you're going to stand almost at this distance, and you don't have good eyes, That even makes you look stupid or worse. But I'll try. No, forget that. Powers and duties. The powers and duties of the National Election Commission, NEC, are contained in Section 2.9 of the New Elections Law of Liberia, approved in 1986 and amended in 2003, 2004, and 2014. It states that the Commission, as an autonomous agency of government, independent of any branch of government, shall have the following powers and duties. Ooh. Shall have the following powers and duties. And then they went on to number them. So I'm jumping over number, what is it? Let me start with number 1 first. Number 1 shall have the following powers and duties. Number 1, to administer and enforce all laws relative to the conduct of elections throughout the Republic of Liberia. Bang! Go call your father. Or go call your auntie. Ghana can say. Powers and duties. When you listen to a Ghanaian and say, as for you there, pa, I don't understand. Go and call somebody. Because, as you know, number 1 says, to administer and enforce all laws relative to the conduct of elections throughout the Republic of Liberia. To administer and enforce. So you know their power. And you know their duty now. Throughout the Republic. You know that, right? That's number 1. Step number 2. Step number 3. Step number 4. Step number 4. Number 4. To give accreditation to and register all political parties and independent candidates who meet the minimum registration requirement laid down by the Commission, by which authority they may exercise political franchise under relevant provisions of the Constitution. Bang! To give accreditation and register all political parties. Bang! Saraya White can say. Do you still want to argue? No. No, you can't. No, you cannot argue. So, we already know now that they can give and they can take. Let's go to number 18. Number 18 has to do with the fact that they are the sole judge. Let's go to number 18. These people with a 1927 Lenny, they spoil things, you know. Number 18 says, power and duties. Number 18, the Election Commission. Number 18, be the sole judge. You know when somebody says that person is the sole judge, that means that person is the only judge. S-O-L-E, sole, the only. Be the sole judge of all contests relating to the election's results and the accreditation of all successful members who have been duly elected as president, vice president, members of the national legislature, vice president, councilmen. Appeal from the decision of the commission in any election contest shall lie before the Supreme Court, taken in accordance with the provisions of this title relating to election contest. Bang! You hear it for yourself. Number 18. Bromsky did not follow that. Bromsky went straight to the Supreme Court. The people never had the opportunity to carry out their powers and duties. Now that I say here that, I'm here to tell the National Election Commission today, number 18 made it clear to say you're the sole judge. But if they like, they can take appeal. The man bypassed her, he went there, they sent him back to you. Let him go back to his entity then. they will fix it for him. So number 18 have told you that appeal from the decision of the commission in any election contest shall lie before the Supreme Court, taken in accordance with the provision of this title relating to election contests. Appeal. That brother ignored you, disrespected neck, did whatever he could do, and landed before the Supreme Court. Now they send him back. What do you do with him? He's already crying. Recuse yourself. I already know what you guys will do. Because if you guys had no intention to apply the full weight of the law and to enforce the guidelines of the election, you would never have gone to the Supreme Court to argue with a dull man. So we already know the outcome from your end, which will tie into the cartel now trying to buy time again. But let's make progress. After number 18, we already know that Bromsky flunked right there. We already know that those people had the power. And if Bromsky was not satisfied, he was supposed to go to the Supreme Court. That's number 18. It's right here. Right here. I'm reading it from right on my computer. And I gave you the website. And I told you where to click. About neck. And then scroll down. Powers and duties. Let's look at number 21. Number 21, the power and duties of the National Election Commission. Number 21 is to formulate and enforce guidelines controlling the conduct of all elections for public offices, which guidelines shall not be inconsistent with the provisions of the Constitution and the elections laws. Formulate and do what? And enforce guidelines. The people doing their work, you go with Supreme Court, you come back, you will meet them there. They will formulate, they will enforce the guidelines. That's part of their function. That's what the law says. That's why they were established. Brother, let's go on to number what? Number 24. This is my sweet part. This is the part that I like. Number 24. Number 24. Duties and powers of the Election Commission. National Election Commission. Your power and duty in number 24 is to revoke the certificate and accreditation of any political party, alliance, or coalition, or to impose a fine of not less than the Liberian dollar equivalent of 2,500 United States dollars. No more than the Liberian dollar equivalent of 50,000 United States dollars. Or both, with respect to the election offenses committed by a neutral person according to the gravity of the offenses, a natural person, according to the gravity of the offenses committed. I love that. According to the gravity of the offenses committed. You can revoke. 1, total disrespect and disregard. 2, denounce the Election Commission. 3, destroy the integrity of the Election Commission to the international press. All I want to put it in the trash can. I'm not dealing with it. The one I'm dealing with, they sought to create fraud. They committed fraud when they took the Know Your Candidates ballots and represented it to the international community as actual ballots. That's fraud. And according to number 24, it says to revoke the certificate of accreditation of any political party. Revoke it. Revoke it. That's fraud. Now, if you go down further, it has our vision, our mission, our core values. And I want to touch base with the core values of the National Elections Commission. The core value of the National Election Commission has to do with number one, independence. I already told you all to go to that next site. I don't like to talk and people say the man was just talking. No. I gave you reference. Number one, independence. The Liberty Party accused NEC of partiality. They are on tape. They question the integrity of the commission and the commissioners. Number two of their core values has to do with professionalism. You said they're not professionals, but you did not give them the chance to do their jobs. You ran straight to your uncle's place. You and your best friend Snow and his wife were sitting there, and your friend Banks with your boy Janet. The third is integrity. You question and undermine the integrity of the commission. When you went to the international press and wrongfully represented them in a fraudulent manner. In a what? Fraudulent manner. The fourth core value happens to be consistency. Consistent with the provisions in its guidelines for its duties and responsibilities relative to the power of that body. Their doors were wide open. You refused to walk in because you had your friend Snow and his wife on the Supreme Court bench, your best friend Banks, and then your buddy Janet. Consistency. But I like number 24. Because if they revoke your accreditation, then you run back to your buddies. You are no longer a political party, as far as we're concerned. And the Supreme Court will have to try to make you a political party. If you say you dull, sometimes it's good to make that person clever. So, now that we understand where we are on this whole issue, my fellow compatriots, let me do this with you guys. Just walk you through. Same way I did on Friday, everything I told you has come to pass. Make no mistake. It is by design. But this strategy is working. Passive, aggressive resistance. Here is what they want to do. Just as Philip A. Banks, Bromsky's all-time best friend, said, we cannot rule on the merits or demerits, but then on Monday he ruled. Send Bromsky back. Just as Bromsky did not stand in front of Philip A. Banks to say, well, I already said that I don't have confidence in these people, but you are sending me back to these people to get tried. I don't think I can get a fair trial or a fair hearing. Let's use hearing. I don't think I can get a fair hearing. You didn't do that. Just as his friend Banks did, he left from the courtroom, King Osa, and said to the Liberian people, they must recuse themselves or else. Recuse themselves? For what? That's their job. Because now you are accusing them of having interest, which will then turn into conflict of interest. And therefore they should recuse themselves. The question then becomes, who does the NEC have interest in? Who? If the question is not who, what political party does the NEC have interest in? That amounts to a conflict of interest. So, that is the question. But you did not question it in front of the Supreme Court. You came in front of the Liberian people and said they must recuse themselves or else. Or else what? go on. Here is another thing. Just like I did Friday, I'm predicting to you. Bromsky will go before them. No matter what ruling they gave Bromsky, Bromsky will now take an appeal. As you saw in NEC, Power and Duties, about NEC, the guidelines, Bromsky will now take an appeal to the Supreme Court. Because that's what it says in number 24. People, you got to know this thing. That's what it said in number 24. It says, is it number 24 or 21? 24 or 21? Let's look at where we are. 21. Consistent with the provision of constitutional law. 24, to revoke any political body, impose fine or not. All right. Good. So let's go to number 18. I'm sorry. There we go. Yep, number 18. Number 18. That's where it is. If you're not satisfied, you have to go to the Supreme Court, I believe. Go to the Supreme Court. So Bromsky was saying he's not satisfied, so he's going back to the Supreme Court. Do you see what we call the dozy-do, back and forth? They play the Liberian people. But if you wash my hand, if they're giving you a sobriety test, the officer will say, let your hair remain straight, follow my finger with your eyes. So when your hand goes this way, you go. And that's how to do it if you're drunk. So these people are going back and forth like this. But guess what the Liberian people are doing? The Liberian people, as they move back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, the Liberian people are applying the strategy of passive-aggressive resistance. You go so, you cancel, we just stay in. Because we know at some point in time, they will get tired. Why? Because of this method. Because of this method. They will get tired because of this little method. Watch it. Watch it, folks. Persistence will overcome the resistance. Persistence will overcome the resistance. Right now they are resisting us because they know we want to have our president. They know we want to change the government. They know we are fed up with their things. So they are resisting the wind of change. They don't know that persistence will overcome the resistance. If I stay here all day for the next 20 years, that's 20 years. Maybe I might not get through this in 20 years. This is offering resistance to this. But this resistance can only last if this persistence fades away. But as long as this is offering resistance, and I have the persistence, eventually the resistance will erode. So, passive-aggressive resistance. We are watching them going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And the Liberian people are just standing. Because we believe at the end of the day, the persistence will overcome the resistance. Let me remind you all watching also. You and I know that Bromsky making all this muff is going to go right back there. Because the court what? The court ordered him to go back. It's just like the quote says, you must appear to your parole officer at 2 o'clock every Wednesday. You come outside. So who won? Took me in there, you make big muff. So what's up? On Wednesday, if you don't go to the parole officer, you will go to jail. You know that. So why the big muff? NEC will call your case. Failure to show up. Failure to show up. You will be given a ruling in absentia. You don't have to be there. The court says you should go back there. You already have all your things before the Supreme Court. NEC is supposed to call you tomorrow, in my view, 10 o'clock in the morning. Because according to the Supreme Court ruling, it should be done expeditiously. Tomorrow morning will be the right time to call you. And if you say you're not going, brother, they gave ruling. Because whether they gave good ruling or bad ruling, you are going back to the Supreme Court. Because the design by the political cartel is to buy time. To buy time. So someone now will ask me, but Eugene, why do you think they want to buy time? Because the political cartel has two things running for them. Money and power. Money and power. You can use power to do anything. You can use money to accomplish a whole lot. So they need time. Your next question will be, but Eugene, if they have money and they have power, and you give them time, what do you think they will use the money and the power for, in addition to the time? To push their campaign into what? High GMO. That's what they will use it for. And they will most likely use intimidation, like we saw in Lofa County this morning, where the Poorer Society there said, if you're not voting for Bwaka, don't come around, don't even hang around there. No meeting. And at the end of the day, if you are voting for Bwaka, you are not to be seen at any CDC meeting or rally. The politics of fear. So you got all of those into play they can use. Now, what's going to happen again, Eugene? If these people decide to call, pull this, then what position do we take as coalitionists? People think I should go in a coalition chat room to go advise the coalition or give them the strategy of passive-aggressive resistance. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to impact you directly. You that's listening to me, I'm going to impact you directly. Here is what I anticipate or expect from Ambassador Weir. Clear cut. I'm saying it so that when he calls you, you are ready. Our understanding is Ambassador Weir is not in the country at the moment. The acting chairman, Chairman Moses Colley, made that revelation today on my program. So he's the acting chairman. George Weir arrived in the country. Number one, George Weir cannot talk to a single journalist. He should not. He should not answer any question. He got to show some leadership now. So what must Ambassador Weir do? Ambassador Weir must now call for number one, a mass rally. Mass rally. Why are you calling for a mass rally? I just told you, if you give them enough time, they are going to kill the momentum of the coalition. Many of you members of the coalition are down inside today. You are broken-hearted. You are angry. You are upset. You are furious. But that's okay. Let's turn that anger into some constructive momentum. That's what we need to do. Turn that anger into a constructive momentum. You know, certain things people can do to you. It makes you so angry. It makes you so angry. You begin to warm up because you know what's coming. That's what should happen. But that's for the leader to do. And to do it, it's not in a podcast. It's not on radio. No. It's not in the governing council meeting. No. It's a mass rally of the coalition. Why are you going to call a mass rally instead of a small meeting of the governing council, party executives? Why? Why? Just what I told you. You want to rally up the base. You want to feed the base with red meat. You want to re-energize the base with real rhetoric. Real fiery rhetoric. And get them ever ready. So, you call a mass rally. How do you intend to do this peacefully? You got from now to Friday to use a man like Eugene Fangon and others coalitionists to be able to tune down the rhetoric and infuse the idea of passive aggressive resistance so that people take seriously to conduct themselves in a peaceful manner, void of any form of violence, while at the same time aggressively showing strength and power to the cartel. What do? We repeat what we did to team our colleagues on the other side of the aisle. I expect this to happen. PYJ will lead an array from ELLA. This is Monrovia. Let's do this again. Monrovia. We're going to lock down this city in that rally. PYJ. Magdala Copper. McDonald Wento. McDonald Wento. Mills Jones. I know someone said, damn, the powerhouses, the heavyweights are converging on the nation's capital in a show of force and strength. It's politics. It's democracy. It must be the will of the people. A government by the people, of the people, and for the people. Alexander Dwopu. Alex Tyler. I'm leaving out somebody, I just can't figure it out. I just can't figure it out. I just can't figure it out. Let me look, maybe somebody might help me. Somebody, I need some help. I need some help. Somebody's going to help me with another name. I need a name. I need a name. I need a name. Somebody's going to help me. All right. Within this area, I need to see Alexander Tuopu and any group he can put together. Maybe it can be Dixon Sibo. It can be Solomon George. Whoever. Magdala Copper. I need her coming in with Sir Joseph. Who else? Sir Joseph. Being the Una woman, Joy Howard Taylor. Joy Howard Taylor. Joy Howard Taylor. Woman to woman. I like to be in that group. I just want to be in that group. Magdala Cooper. Joy Howard Taylor. I want to see Prince Johnson advancing here. I want to see McDonald Wento in the UPP. Prince Johnson and the Movement for Reconstruction and Democracy. I knew I was Lanum. Nathaniel Blama. The world will be watching, folks. The world will be watching. Make no mistake. The world will be watching. This coming Saturday, Prince Johnson lead an array. MRD and his people. McDonald went to UPP and his people. Magdala Cooper, the Liberian Transformation or whatever they call it. Restoration Party. Liberian Restoration Party. Along with Joy Howard Taylor. They lead the Women's Brigade. Nathaniel Blama and Lanu. Alex Duapu lead his men with the ALP. So you got ALP, Lanu, Liberia Restoration Party, Magdala Cooper, backed by Joy Howard Taylor, PYJ, MRD, McDonald Wento, UPP, Alex Tyler, LPDP, Mills Jones, Movie, NPP. Get a very famous name from NPP right here. Excuse me. Folks, I don't play. If this happens on Saturday, the message will be clear, concise, consistent, with passive aggressive resistance. Passive aggressive resistance. If we converge on the city, you are talking about not less than almost 2 million people right here. Monrovia will be forced to take it. We start the campaign effective tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. in the morning, to rally all these people into the nation's capital. There and then, the Supreme Court will know that we're not out for violence, but if we decide to go the violent route, we are unstoppable. 2, that our resistance is passive, but at the same time aggressive, to tell them that this is the new government of the Republic of Liberia. 3, it will show our force and our strength. We're not disturbing, no violence, nothing. Do you You hear the United States and South Korea are carrying out military drills along the North Korean DMZ to show force and strength. If you don't know, if you hear the Russians carrying out military drills to do the same, are they fighting? No. Are they being violent? No. But they won't show you where the power lies. And that, my friend, the power lies in the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia, Article 1, sentence number 1, that power is inherent in the people. How can you miss that? This is it. PYJ and his convoy and his multitude of people. Magdala Kopajua Howard Taylor with the Women's Brigade. Nathaniel Blama, Lanu. And don't forget, this is NPP and Liberian Restoration Party. ALP, the same ALP on the other side, only Costa and his buddy. Alexander Dupo and the rest of the party will be coming in. Mills Jones and Movie. Alexander Tower and LPDP from Bombay. McDonald Wento and the UPP. And the NPP brigade coming in. Go and tell the people that can kill your dog on Saturday will be here. I cannot in any way take this strategy and say I'm taking it in a chat room. No, I gave it to you. If you don't use it, these people at the Supreme Court and Charles Walker Bromsky and the band of cartel recruits, Charles Walker Bromsky and the band of cartel recruits will continue to play the game they play. But with this arrangement on Saturday, if well planned and well carried out, it will show force and strength. Because here is why. Let me tell you their only got. Right here. You ready? That's it right there. Charles Walker Bromsky. That's it right there. Because this guy right here is questionable. That guy right there is questionable. So then you got Boakai. As for Boakai, oh, Jesus. Oh, man. Umgafua, Mo Ali, and what's his name? Oh God. Oh man. Wilma Pay. Look at these people. You know why I'm laughing? You don't even know. CUNMRNGS. Alright, Honor Bromsky, he got his little 3 loyalists. None of them have won any election before anywhere. Nobody know them, in fact. That's why they don't win anything. Okay? So right there they close. This one and his buddy, the whole republic of 2 million, 2.2 million almost, they only got 24,000 votes. This one right here, all the big mouth he got, how he got huge following. He could only manage 1,400 out of his own district. That's stupid. now, there's one. Even with Alexander Duopu, the son of a strong hero, the late Moses Duopu. Even with Moses Duopu helping him, he could only manage 24,000. Black guy. Everybody know Mo Ali is a kid. Mo Ali is indeed a kid. Outside of politics, he is a kid. My little brother, right? Wilma Pay is a confused idiot. He cannot even run a daycare. Not daycare set too powerful. He cannot run a Zogo hostel. That's it. He's a complete idiot. And Gafwan does not like Mo Ali. They've already sidelined Mo Ali. Then you have, watch this though. Watch this. Edwin Snow. They took this guy from there and put this guy there. This guy does not like this guy. But however, they got to work together. And this one right here, forget that. He ain't got nothing to contribute. So, here is where the fun is. Does he bring Horatio Gu, who lacked not only the experience, but the organization? Does he bring Munaf Fahad with him? Does he bring... We don't even see anybody behind Cummings. Cummings looks like a guy that is upset so much that he's decided I will just go by myself. I don't want no problem with anybody. I don't need no help anymore. You know, Cummings is saying, I don't need help from nobody. I don't want nobody. Just leave me alone. You know? Cummings in America, we have something they call pouting. Cummings look just like one of those little child that have misbehaved and got punished severely by the Liberian people. And so Cummings go like, leave me. I don't want to play no more. Just go away. You all go away. That's it right there. Go away. Go away. Leave me alone. I just want to be alone. Just leave me alone. I'm going to calm down, okay? Just leave me alone. So folks, that is what you need to do with this little band of political
What's the description?
All these people here are nothing but a bunch of pseudo. All of them are nothing but a bunch of. I'm going to give it to you to end this podcast. I'm going to give it to you to end this podcast. They are nothing but a bunch of pseudo political I wonder if it, because I'll do some writing sometimes and it goes outside. Oh, no. Let's do it better so it can reflect in the video as we close, okay? Nothing but a bunch of pseudo political technocrats. And that is how we close today. when we say, whether it's Ure and Costa, Charles Bromsky, his boys Dillon and Ben Sambi, whether it's Joseph Boakai and the four stooges, Ngafwa, Mo Ali, Wilbur Pay, Edwin Snow, or Cummings, the guy who's pouting. The fact that when you put Bromsky, Ure, and Cummings together, all of them, they all amount to nothing but a bunch of pseudo-political technocrats. That's exactly why they didn't win in the first place. Trying to play politician. Trying to play what? Politician. You don't play politician in a political season. That's crazy. That's not when you play politician. You'll never go anywhere. Let me give you an example before I close up. Henry Costa runs from America into Liberia and thinks that when you talk on the radio, in fact nowadays he refers to himself as a political analyst, whereas he doesn't even know what they call modern political research. He has never done that course, political research. No, he's never done it. This guy did not even graduate from high school. He has not done one semester in college, but he goes on the radio and refers to himself as a political analyst. But anyway, you don't need too much book to do that. You know, let's be honest with ourselves. But what I'm saying, the point I wanted to make, when I refer to these people as a bunch of pseudo-political technocrats, this word right here means something. Right there. It means false. That's what it means. So, you want to run in a district election for a representative. We call that local elections. We got local elections, national elections, community elections. Meaning, what's your first approach? You do a survey. Damn. You got to come around, send some people in the whole district. Go ask some questions. What are some of the questions? Like, do you really like the guy that's there right now? Has he treated you guys well? And they say, nope, we don't like him at all. What were some of the things he did that you didn't like? The man was not even living here. In fact, yesterday, the man resident in Bombay, they call him Edwin Snow. What are some of the things you guys are lacking here? We don't even have schools. Clinics that we don't have here. What kind of leadership are you guys looking for? If you were to do it again, would you vote for this guy? No. You're conducting surveys. You go in, you're conducting polls. Opinion polls. You're running around, you're trying to get the statistics in there. How many old people, young people, you look for the different voting blocks within the same district. How are they likely to vote? Nothing! You just pick out your big box. Let me show you guys, because sometimes, you know. By the way, I just bought this, you know. So this was Costa leading America like this. Bringing his trouble to the Liberian people. And the reason why somebody would say, but why are you going on Costa? It's because I heard Costa insulted the political leader George Weah this morning on his program. That's why I want to prove to you that he's more dumb than the man he claims is dumb. Because his law from America went straight to Liberia. I am running. They said, okay, what's your platform? I am Benny Ure best buddy. I'm not a member of the ALP, but I support the presidency of Benny Ure. Are you going to go as an independent candidate? I don't know. He ended up going up. The man who said he was not a member of ALP ran on the ALP ticket. Okay? The man who said, hold on folks, I'm trying to close up here. So here we are now. What's your platform? Well, my platform is something that people can stand on, right, to run, right? Yeah. My platform is very Liberian. This is a man who said he was not a member of the ALP by virtue of his position in the press, but he was a supporter of Benny Nayure for the presidency. It turns out he ran on ALP ticket. When asked what he was going to do for the people of that area, he said he was going to fight for them in the house. But the real question was, how? If you didn't graduate from high school, how likely are you to put together a bill? Do you even know what a bill is? You're not coming there with a record to show. And you're not inspiring and motivating the people. You've never conducted a poll or a survey there to even know what's up in that district. And so this morning you went and started causing job here. And then in a district that had almost 50, 60,000 people. Some people say 100. I'm not looking at the stats. You only got 1,400. I can guarantee you, when I hold a podcast, you all saw almost 500. Just a podcast. But that make me stupid to go in District 6 and run against a man who Edwin Snow ran away from. Edwin Snow ran away from him. And if you don't have 10% of what Edwin Snow owns or has, why are you going there? But I can go there. And I can take on that individual. And I'm confident I may not win. I'll be the first to admit. Seriously. I may not. In fact, I can say it would be so difficult to win. I can pass a jet through your ear and through your mouth, and nothing will happen to you than it is for me to win there. That is how difficult it will be. I understand that. But I will not leave from there with 1,400 votes. You can put your money on my back. Put your money on my back. You left from out of the district with 1,400 votes. What makes you think that was at the district level? Why are you so confident that you can even deliver 5,000 votes out of the Republic of Liberia? 5,000. Why? If you were so widely followed by the people in Monrovia, in which the district is located, those people listen to you on a daily basis. They know your name and your face. And you only got 1,400 votes. That in Kawe can. And the place you went to take votes from? A bunch of pseudo-political technocrats. And so, folks, we've had a good time. I want to acknowledge you. Don't forget, this is what we're dealing with now. Whoa. I don't want that. Whoa. Because I want to leave you with that, okay? It's going to be P-A-R. Passive. Aggressive. Resistance. That is the strategy for the coalition going forward. Passive, aggressive, resistance. Will be cool as ice and twice as nice. But at the same time, they will move back and forth like a pendulum bob. A pendulum ball. Let's call it ball. Simple pendulum. That's how they're moving, like this. And they expect us to go like, no, we're not. We're just standing like this. When they're tired, they will say, are you there? We're right here. Let's go out there, let's do it. Keep working the phones. Keep calling your friends. Because of the way they're acting, get fired up. Get angry. Get mad. Get vexed. But let's use the anger, the vexation, the frustration. Let's do it constructively. Let's use it constructively. We can use it to even get more people on our side. Because now they are showing themselves and we are picking up on them. Some of them will count light poles from red light to Broad Street. Because imagine, Georgia is thinking about buying the minister's cars and the deputy minister cars. The rest of the other people, nothing. They will buy maybe 10 cars for one ministry and put it in the yard. If you're supposed to go do work, you sign for one of the key. There will be like an autonomous GSA office in the ministry. Minister got no control over those people. You can't, you sign, you carry the log with you. They will take the they will take the meat off in the car. Right now your mileage is 33,424. Where are you going? We are going to Dwara Market to deliver some stuff. Alright, thank you. 33,424, you come out, the mileage is 38, you will explain why. Or you'll be fired. So instead of buying about 150 cars, we buy like 15. Then we buy 4 buses, 5 for our ministry. Then we got various places around the city. Director, all of y'all go ride our bus. Y'all go to work. The bus will make 3 trips every morning and 3 trips every evening. So you miss one bus, you get on the other one. You miss the other bus, you get on the other one. You miss the other one, you get, by the time say you're late. How you like me now? We got plenty ideas though. Plenty. They need to get out of the way. That's what they need to do. Until you see me again and I see you again, let's be me, coalitionist. Let's do it. Thank you. And you all have a wonderful, blessed evening. It was nice having you.